Day 32, Tuesday, 7th of September, 2021. Today's Bible reading, 2 Kings, chapters 1 to 10. Prophetic Voices of an Era. Prophets played major roles in the kingdoms of Israel and Judah, and they were endowed with a prophetic office to deliver the words and messages of God. God mainly spoke through prophets in those days. Elijah and his disciple Elisha were two prophets greatly used by God. Also mentioned were other prophets like Nathan, Ahijah, Shemaiah, Isaiah, and Huldah, etc. Whenever kings or leaders took heed of the words of God spoken through the prophets, they received God's favor. For example, King Jehoshaphat, see 2 Kings, chapter 3, verses 11 to 27. Naaman, see 2 Kings, chapter 5. And King of Israel, see chapter 6, verses 8 to 23. However, they would be judged by God when they refused to take heed of His commands. Cases in point include King Ahaziah, see 2 Kings chapter 1, King Joram, King Ahaziah, King Ahab, and Queen Jezebel, see 2 Kings chapters 9 to 10. The prophets maintained their loyalties to the Lord wholeheartedly, making their stand against any political alliances or policies that threatened to destroy the faith of the Israelites in God. With such strict observances to the requirements of God's holy covenant, the prophets often found themselves in opposing positions with the kings or queens. For the latter often had no qualms in compromising with their neighboring pagan nations in terms of their political and religious stances, hence violating the will of God. While our nation and the world are confronted by many chaotic and uncertain moments at this juncture, has the Church failed to give her prophetic voice and deliver the message of God to this generation? Or worse still, has she lost her direction and is now being led by the world in her unending concessions to trends, tossed and swayed by, as it were, the waves and tides of this world? Today's prayers. Pray that the people of God would be faithful and honest in delivering the word of God in their respective capacities, and that those who are involved in prophetic, teaching, and preaching ministries will be men and women of integrity as they handle the Word of God. Pray for the check and balance system in the legislature body of Malaysia, the Parliament, that it will function according to its intended design, and that constructive and positive opinions will be aired and considered to help effect the process of legislation. Pray for the Orang Kanak, located mainly in Sungai Selangi, Kota Tinggi Johor, and Pahang, that the good news of salvation will reach this small group, and that their children will receive proper education for them to be competitive in the job markets.